Well, we turned out with a beautiful weekend, and the week ahead just gets warmer, but we're going to kind of keep this trend of dry going for a little while after we had some good moisture last week, and we need a lot more to be sure, but we can handle a little break too. The warm-up may be the biggest story of the next week, and we could be approaching the century mark by next weekend across parts of western Colorado. The good news here is the humidity is also going to back off. It may take till the end of the week for that to actually happen, but that will help the swamp coolers work a little bit better if you use a swamp cooler to cool the inside of your home. Now, if you go up to the mountains, you still can encounter some showers and maybe even a little bit of thunder there. I don't expect it in the valleys here over the next 7 days. Now, that first 100-degree day, it hasn't happened yet, which is typical. Usually we don't get to 100 until probably the end of June. We average around June the 30th, but it has happened as early as the end of May. May 29th back in 2000 was the earliest 100-degree day on record in Grand Junction. The latest first 100-degree day was August the 8th back in 1965, and I should clarify and say these are for the years where we actually made it to 100. About 30% of the total years since 1891 did not actually make it to 100. The last time that was happened was actually back in 1993, I believe it was. Now, typically from the first 100 to the last 100, there are 23 days. We've had as many as 88. That doesn't mean all of these days are 100-degree days. I'm just talking the days from first to last, and so I kind of call this the 100-degree day season. Don't forget, too, as we're starting to warm up, the pets can be affected by this in a big way, very painful way perhaps. Even at 95 degrees, concrete can be as hot as 125 degrees, and paw burns can happen at that temperature at less than 5 minutes. The asphalt can be as hot as 140 degrees, and that's with 95-degree air temperatures, which can burn paws in less than a minute, and that again can be very painful. The better alternative is to walk them on the grass and, if possible, in the shade. So let's look in the upper layers of the atmosphere, because this is really where the weather story happens right now. I put these black lines on the map, these darker black lines that are not the state lines. These kind of show the wind flow. The wind in the 30,000-foot layer of the atmosphere tends to follow these lines, and if we follow them and the wind flow that I've also put on here, you can kind of carve out an upper-level low-pressure circulation nearing the Great Lakes, and then high pressure along the Pacific Northwest coast. All of this is shifting east, so that low pressure moves away. That takes the cooler, unsettled weather with it. That high pressure, though, is going to build in right on top of us, and that high pressure is a warm high pressure, so it's going to boost our temperatures a little bit at first. Now, as this high pressure continues to shift off to the east and then even to the southeast by the middle of the week, we've got an even hotter high pressure down over northwest Mexico and the eastern Pacific Ocean that's going to start to build to the north. So late this week, and especially next weekend, the temperatures are going to go up even more. I mentioned the humidity backing off. You see the dew points. Remember, these numbers, the higher they are, the more humid the air feels, the heavier the air feels. And the lower they are, the better we feel, the more crisp the air feels. And by the end of the week, we're back down in the 20s where we should be. That's where we typically are, and that certainly is going to help a little bit. I mentioned mountain showers. We've got a few right now. Those are going to fade fairly steadily this evening, and we'll see a few more tomorrow as well. But with the sun, remember, the peak UV index tomorrow afternoon goes up to 11, so you can burn in less than 20 minutes. Sunscreen's an important thing to have tomorrow afternoon. If you're going for a hike, just be ready for the heat, and again, over the mountains, you can encounter a couple of thunderstorms. Right now, it's nice and quiet. 90 is the temperature at the airport, and we will likely hang out in the 90s to upper 80s here over the next few hours with some slow cooling, taking us down towards 60 in Junction with mid to upper 50s elsewhere. And then tomorrow it's upper 80s to lower 90s for those high temperatures in the afternoon. We'll call it 92 at Grand Junction, and look at that 7-day forecast. It's dry, it's warm. Middle 90s are in the forecast for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then I think we can call those upper 90s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And again, we're knocking on 100's door. I think in Grand Junction we probably stay just shy of it, but it's not out of the question on some backyard thermometers, certainly. Expect upper 80s around Montrose through Wednesday. We'll call it 87 degrees tomorrow, and then lower and middle 90s are in the forecast Thursday through Sunday. Now, Delta, you're warming through the 90s and toward 100, and I'm betting you touch 100 on Sunday. You're more likely to do it than Grand Junction is this time around. Cortez, you're looking at upper 80s through Friday, and then lower 90s are in the forecast next weekend.